Rev up your engines!
Well, I feel sorry for you if you live in California because they're going to close a bunch of refineries and it could cause gasoline prices to go over $8 a gallon. And you might think, why? Well, they already have the most expensive gas in California. Last time I was in California, I saw $7 a gallon for premium fuel. That's a lot of money, right? There's a new report out and it says, hey, gasoline could be $8 a gallon because they are shutting two giant refineries, the Phillips 66 in LA and the Valeria refinery in Benicia, California. That's almost 20% of the refining capacity of California. Realize they can talk green all they want, but California itself consumes more than 13 million gallons of gasoline every single day, right? And of course, the absurd thing is, oh, well, we can't make as much, so we're going to charge you more. It's just, patently absurd. They just want to make more profit. That's all that it comes down to. It should not be allowed. You can't say, oh, well, I don't have enough, so I'm going to charge you more money for it. Now, of course, California is burning their own bridges. They're making it harder for these refineries to pass all the rules that they have, and so they're going to shut them down. Now, realize one thing in the United States, a lot of people don't know. Major oil refineries that have large capacities like these haven't been built since 1977, baby. And this is 2025, right? And you might think, gee, people use a lot of gasoline. Why aren't they building major refineries? Because the old babies are grandfathered in. They don't have to meet the new specifications. That's why they got these old clunkers going. Like when I lived in Houston, they were professionally having fires and explosions because they were really old refineries. But if they kept patching them together, then they didn't have to meet the new specifications for anti-pollution, so they just kept those running. That is why all these refineries are so old. And of course, in California, you got an old giant refinery. It's got to meet these modern specs. And I imagine in California, they have been talking about shutting them down deliberately until they meet the specifications. Until the oil companies are saying, we'll just leave. Right? Probably end up changing the laws. People aren't going to be paying $8 a gallon for gas in California if they're paying, $3, $4 a gallon in the rest of the country. Eventually, people can revolt. California had that proposition years ago to stop the insane hiking of real estate taxes, right? And that brought the real estate taxes down at least, so I'm assuming that they'll probably do something about that. Now, it's not just that, right? The cap and trade program, which limits emissions, is part of it, but they have higher state tax on fuels in California, and they have very low carbon fuel standards. So you put it all together, then they shut down 20% of their refineries. Gas got to come from somewhere, right? Well, a lot of them will come from trucks, so it'll be more transportation. Products in grocery stores, and all other stores will rise because it costs more money to get there. So that would make the cost of living in California, which is already the highest in the country, go even higher. Maybe it's a good idea for any of you listening in California to think about, hey, maybe move to where Scotty is, Tennessee, where they don't have all these problems, right? Now, I imagine they'll probably end up giving some kind of incentives to keep the refiners open. People can talk the talk, but the bottom line is when the rubber hits the road, it's money. Like I say, follow the money. And if they keep just jacking it up and up, the crap will hit the fan and something will happen. People aren't going to accept that stuff. We're not in cages locked somewhere where we can't get out and move somewhere else. We're not trees with our roots in the ground where we can't move. We can move whenever we want. Well, it's now official. The Hemi indeed is back. The first 2026 Ram 1500 V8 truck has rolled off and is up for sale now. Just the other day, the first batch of 2026 Ram 1500 pickups with the Hemi left the Sterling Heights Assembly plant in Sterling Heights, Michigan. And yes, indeed, these aren't crap made in Mexico. These are made in Michigan. Now, they said they were going to get rid of it, but now, with Trump in the White House and people saying we don't want no stinking electric trucks, guess what? They're bringing the Hemi back. Ram claims that in June, just a few months ago, when they said we're bringing back the Hemi and the Ram 1500, they said they got 10,000 orders in the first 24 hours. People like them, right? So the Hemi is back. The electric vehicles are kind of fading away, showing that large pickup trucks, really, people do not want electric large pickup trucks right? They want ones with big V8 engines. They're used to driving around. They can get gasoline. They can pull a lot of stuff. They don't have to worry about range anxiety. So here we go. Electrification is going down and Hemis are coming back. Well, if you wonder what the company is that has more safety awards than any other in the last 5 years, you might be surprised that finds out it is the Mazda CX-30. According to almost all the studies people have done, the Mazda CX-30 is the safest small SUV on the road today. And it keeps getting 5-star ratings. Top 10 rankings ever since it was built. If you're going to zoom, you get 227 horsepower turbocharged 4-cylinder. I advise you to get the non-turbocharged. It will last longer. And it's not like it is a dog, right? I mean, it's still got 191 horsepower, and it's a 2.5 liter, a big 4-cylinder engine. And you're going to get better gas mileage. You get 29 with the non-turbo, and you're going to get 25 rated with the turbo. You'll probably get worse because you step on the gas with the turbo, it revs the engine, goes faster. So you probably get even much worse gas mileage than you're going to get with a non-turbo one, and the non-turbo ones last a lot longer. Plus, they are pretty good cars. Realize, they still have 6-speed automatic transmissions with real gears, people, not some crappy CVTs, no. Real gears. They have real actual gears. And they're extremely safe. I just did a video on one the other day. I was quite impressed. The guy actually bought the car because he had one that was 2 years old. And he was in a massive wreck where the car was completely crushed, but the inside was safe. And he said, that thing saved my life. So he went out and bought a brand new 2025 version of the same exact car because he figured it saved his life. So I got to say, these ratings, they know what they're talking about in these cars. Now, here's an interesting survey. Turns out that Tesla full self-driving actually turns off more U.S. consumers than it attracts. People did research and they found out that it actually, the full self-driving, which of course is not full self-driving, it says 35% of the people surveyed, 35% of them said, hey, I would turn them off. They don't want it. Only 14 said it would make them more likely to buy a Tesla. And 51% of the people said it wouldn't make any difference if they buy the car or not. Now, of course, Elon's pushing that full self-driving. That's the big thing. Oh, yeah, you're going to have them. They're going to drive. They're going to make you money as taxi cabs when you're not driving them, blah, blah, blah. He said that years ago. Of course, that never came to fruition. That probably never will come to fruition, right? He'll say anything now because the company is in dire straits. Their sales are going down. Worldwide, especially, their sales are really going down. Some of his politics got involved in it. Oh, Elon should have listened to something my old man told me years ago. He said, in business, you don't talk two things. You don't talk politics or religion. People can have whatever politics they want, whatever religion they want. Do not make it part of your business policy, or you're going to find you're going to lose a bunch of customers. My old man knew that in the 1950s. Old Elon, he just thinks so. He can do whatever he wants. It's not going to affect anything. Well, guess what? It is, and it does. And now the people are saying, this nonsense he's throwing out, I'm not going to buy one of his cars. Now, here's yet another failing electric vehicle, the Harley-Davidson Livewire electric motorcycle. Now, in order to try to counter their lack of sales, Livewire is now slashing the prices with big sales on their electric motorcycles, right? And they call it twist and go sales gimmick as far as I'm concerned, right? Now, their S2 Del Mar is only starting at $9,999, cheap for Harley-Davidson. And these things used to go between $15,000 to $17,000. Now they're going between $9,999 and $11,999. They're saying, oh, they have a feature where now they're going to have a reverse mode so it'll back itself up. Who would think of that? It's an electric motorcycle. It's really easy to make the motor go backwards, so they should have done that in the beginning, right? But all I have to say is they can cut the price all they want. Nobody wants these things, right? Now look, they've cut their prices, all that. Well, here's a fact, Jack. Harley-Davidson only sold 33 of those electric motorcycles in the first quarter of 2025, okay? So January, February, March, right? 3 months, they sold 33 electric motorcycles. So that means they averaged just a tad over 10 of them a month. No company's going to stay in business selling 10 motorcycles a month, right? Nobody's buying those stupid electric Harley Davidson motorcycles. They can lower the price all they want. They're big motorcycles. They have no range. The whole thing that people want about motorcycles is, oh, you can drive on them all day, range, have some fun, right? Not, oh, gee, I'm going 70 and all of a sudden I ran out of electricity and I'm stuck in the middle of nowhere. They should just give up Harley Davidson with your electric motorcycles. Nobody wants them. You can discount them all you want. I think you should just discount it completely. Just give the rest of them away and shut the company down. LiveWire is a joke. Now, here's why you can't listen to news or propaganda sometimes. It's both, right? I'm reading about China, and they're saying the world's largest solar plant is rising in Tibet. It's so vast, it's the size of Chicago. They're trying to act like China is a clean place, right? At the same time, China is now burning coal at record high levels in 2025. Right now. This year, China has expanded the use of coal energy more in the first half of 2025 than at any time in the past 9 years. So they keep saying, oh, yeah, we're getting rid of coal. No, they aren't. 2025, China's expanded the use of coal energy more than any time in the last 9 years. You have to go back 9 years to find out when they're expanding coal even more. They say, oh, don't worry, we're getting rid of coal. No, they aren't. China is a land that is full of coal. China has burned more coal at power plants between January and July of 2025 than at any time since 2016. They keep talking about, we're getting clean. Oh, look at it. No, they aren't. Generated 21 gigawatts of coal power the first 6 months of 2025. That is a lot of power. A gigawatt is 1,000 megawatts. That's a lot of power too. So, right? It was reported. Not only do they have new construction of coal plants, right? But they're actually refiring existing coal plants that they had shut down. Now they're bringing them back online. So, this point that you think China's all clean and that bunch of horse manure, right? So maybe they'll have a lot more electric cars in China, right? But they're going to get the electricity from burning coal. So, it's kind of like, I got a friend in Australia, and he told me in the middle of the outback, he saw an electric charging station to charge up electric cars, right? Well, next to it was a diesel generator because they didn't have enough electricity out in the outback to run one of those chargers. They use a lot of power, right? So you got to turn on the diesel generator, burning diesel, right? Then that runs the generator that charges the electric car. So basically, it's a diesel electric car now. So, same thing in China. They're coal electric cars. Even worse. Well, Tesla's at it again. They're letting go 82 people at their Giga Texas factories as they end a contract with a company. MPW Industrial Services is an Ohio industrial service provider, and 82 of their workers in Texas are being laid off. The contract's over. Now, this is one thing if you don't know anything about Tesla. It's a very bizarre company. I had a guy come here years ago in a Ford Lightning. Now, it wasn't a Ford Lightning electric one. It was a Ford Lightning that had a V8 with a supercharger. It was a pretty good pickup, right? And I asked the guy, I said, so what do you do? He says, well, up until a few weeks ago, I was an engineer working in California at the Tesla factory, but then Tesla found a cheaper engineering firm. Our contract was ending, so they didn't renew our contract. They hired another engineering firm that did it for less money. Now, one, hiring an engineering firm for less money may not be the smartest idea to begin with, but especially when you're building something as complex as an electric car. You'd want the engineers to gradually make it better. They know what the product is. They've been studying, building it. They can see how to do it better, right? Make it more efficient, whatever. You don't want to keep changing the people that are the engineers, right? Well, what does old Elon do? He just fires them because he finds somebody who'll do it cheaper once the contract is up. Maybe that's why they have problems with them. Look at Toyota. Do they fire their engineers? No, they keep them for a lifetime. They keep incrementally making things better. You fire people and you hire somebody who does it for less money. It generally doesn't work out well. It doesn't seem to be working out that well for Tesla. And here they are again firing one company. They probably found another one that's going to do the job cheaper. And like I said, the old expression, you pay peanuts, you get monkeys. Well, if you're not going to pay much money, you're not going to get motivated employees, right? And then they'll know the fact. They'll know, how come we're working here? Well, the other company, these guys are making this money, but he didn't want to pay them that much. They're paying us less than they paid the other guys. So are they going to be satisfied? Of course not. You can't just keep firing people and replacing them, especially in Tesla's situation where, I mean, the guy that I met, hey, he was an engineer. They got rid of a whole engineering firm, replaced him with another one because it was cheaper. Not a good idea. So if you never want to miss another one of my new car repair videos, remember to ring that bell.